All right, folks, we're back. It's Tuesday, y'all. Dusty's in the dugout. I'm on the green screen. It's about to go down, folks. My name is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. This is how we do it every Tuesday, y'all. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. Me and my boy Dusty about to lay it down, Lay it down like old carpet, baby. Old carpet. Here we go. Dusty, where you at?
Right here, baby. Right here. What up, Lonzo?
Hey, hanging out, man. How you feeling today?
Man, I can't complain, dude. I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. February's here. This year is already flashing before our eyes, but
come on, man.
I'm feeling good, man.
Come on. I ain't mad at you at all. I'm glad to be here. I didn't deal so much since in February, man. I don't know how the rest of the year gonna go. I've been busy as heck, and I don't see no end in sight. But I'm gonna take it like a real trooper.
That's right. Ride that wave, man. Ride that wave. Lots to talk about, but the biggest story this week, obviously, is body cam footage came out of 5 police officers hitting, kicking, tasing, and beating another black man, Tyree Nichols. This led to Tyree passing away a few days later from his injuries. When you saw that footage, Lonzo, what were your first thoughts?
Gangsters. Them wasn't cops. Them was gangsters with badges, man. Them was straight gangsters with badges. They snatched the dude at the car like he owed them money from years back, okay? They rolled up on him. He didn't get a chance to take out his driver's license, his insurance, registration, nothing. Homeboy opened the door and snatched him out. He trying to figure out what's going on. When somebody do you like that, whether they got a badge or not, man, it's real hard not to go into defensive mode, dude. I don't understand that. And this is one of them situations that as a citizen, as a man, you fear for your life immediately. When a cop walks up to you like that, snatches you out the car, what are you supposed to do? Obviously, complying is not an option. You're already in a bad position when the door opens. When the cop, he didn't even come to the window he didn't come to the window with his gun drawn. He came out, opened the door, and snatched him out the car. That wasn't a traffic stop, man. That was somebody coming to get somebody. They was coming to handle some business. And it just man, I prayed for his family. I saw the video, man, and I think about what would you do as a dad if you saw some guys whooping your son like that? Okay. How do you can't just stand there because you could never live with yourself. You got to go get tased and get your ass whooped too. We got to go get tased together, man. Okay, shot, whatever the case. Dude, you can't just stand by and let 5 big dudes, them some nice sized dudes, them wasn't no small dudes, man. 5 big dudes, cops or not, blatantly break the law. There's no justification to administer street justice in that manner in this day and age, especially after George Floyd. That makes no sense, man. But I can't say I am glad that the Memphis DA, Memphis sheriff, everybody went into swift action. They said, they know damn well if this don't get dealt with fast, it's going to be some hot shopping jumping off real quick. Let's put these fools in jail. Let's charge them so we can at least take the hot shopping off. I call riding hot shopping off the minds of the folks. And they still did some protesting, but it is what it is. But that's some cold shit, man.
And cold for sure. What makes this story a little bit different than the ones we've covered in the past is that the 5 officers who did this are black. How important or unimportant to the story do you think that is?
That's the part that makes it sad, man, because you got a lot of good cops out there, black and white, but now you can't trust nobody. You would think as a brother, you might get some love from a black cop. And I know sometimes I've had instances myself where the brother was the most aggressive. I've been there. I've seen that. I've experienced that firsthand. But on the other times, I've had more often than not, I should say, I've seen brothers be a little bit more understanding of a brother's circumstances. Okay, but when you got 5 and you can't get no compassion from none of them, dude, it's a cold day in hell, baby. It's a cold devil wearing a parka and a hoodie. Okay, it's a cold day in hell when a black man can't get no compassion from 5 cops. I'm trying to figure out. Well, I heard he was supposed to have been dealing with his ex-girlfriend or some old stupid shit like that. But why, unless all 5 of y'all screwing her, and y'all just messed y'all up for nothing, man. Allegedly, Tyree was supposed to have been friends or had something to deal with one of the cops' girlfriends or something like that, worked at FedEx or something like that. But again, that ain't no justification for 5 people. So somebody's supposed to have some sense. If not, y'all just 5 gangbangers with badges and guns. Y'all 5 gangbangers with badges and guns. Simple as that.
Yeah. And it goes back to the training thing, Lonzo. I mean, it bothers me that if I want to become a hairdresser, a barber, something along those lines, I have to go to school longer for that than I do to become a cop.
It takes longer
doesn't register
to do a jerry curl than it does to be get a gun in the badge. 6 months, 9 months for a hairdresser and 6 months for a cop. Tell me how that's supposed to work. Okay. And I think, man, we were talking about this on our Sunday praise walk that in some situations, man, just like they have a gang enhancement for gangsters they used to have a gang enhancement, they still do. There's some places that have a gang enhancement for when gangbangers do certain things. When cops do certain things, it should be an enhancement for that shit, man, to deter other cops from doing that. I know people say, "Oh man, nobody wants to be a cop." No, people want to be cops, but you can't just give anybody with a heartbeat and a bad attitude a gun and a badge. That don't make no sense. It's bad enough we got enough ones that are not black, but you got 5 black ones that do a brother like that, man. That's some cold. That's woo. That's
I legit cried, man. I legit cried. I thought what if that was my son on the ground? You brought it to the son thing earlier, and that's exactly where my first thought went to. Seeing 5 black men beat my son, who are supposed to be the law, beat my son to death.
Right, literally.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I have a theory that it should be, to become a police officer, it should be a 4-year course. You know, you have to complete training on mental health and how to deal with people and social skills and things like that. And I think that if they did something like that, that the cream of the crop or the better individuals would get on the force. What do you think about that?
I think cops need to have some kind of college education, first of all, just a high school diploma and passing the health test, the physical test and the basic police test is not sufficient. You need to at least have a AA, or I'm not going to say a BA, but at least an AA, some advanced education, so that you can at least have some basic understanding of life itself, man. You might need to be 25 to be a cop as opposed to 21. 25, you're a little bit more level-headed. You're trying to get you a good job, trying to do it. In most cases, you got past the gladiator stage in your life. You coming out of the gladiator stage, okay? A lot of cops are gladiators. You got young cops there. They get a gun in the badge. They get to drive fast, run through red lights. They got groupies. Cops got groupies just like rappers got groupies. So if you in that gladiator stage of life, shit, man, you having a ball. You get to crack some heads and get paid for it too, shit. But as you get a little older, and 25, you start to come out of the gladiator mentality. You start thinking about your freedom, your pensions, and hopefully, you still want to do a little party. You're still young enough to get you have some fun, but you're thinking about other things besides just having a good time. In most cases.
Yep, facts. This is very reminiscent of Rodney King. Looking back at it, I want to talk about Rodney King for a little while. I know we've discussed it in the past, but this may be a perfect time to do it because of this situation. But take yourself back to 1991, 1992, when you saw that footage of Rodney King being beat, very similar to what we just saw last week with Tyree Nichols.
I just thought it was no way in the world I thought them cops would get off. No way in the world. No, I'm sitting there watching the trial. That was probably one of the first times I did not leave the TV. I watched that trial from the first gavel to the last. And see them cops get off, I'm like, what? They did what? And the whole time they beating Rodney King, they tell him to hold still. Man, your body has natural reaction, just like a reflex. When you get hit, your body's gonna respond. It's gonna be some flinch, it's gonna be some jumping, and they wasn't trying to subdue him. They were just trying to whoop him. That's the whole. It was no attempt to really subdue him. They just wanted to beat him. They figured they had a good spot. It was dark, wasn't nobody around. They could whoop his ass and get away with it. Just so happened, homeboy had his VHS camera hanging out the window and caught the whole thing on tape. And see them cops get away with it, man, was just very disheartening. And as you know from there, the whole damn city did not agree with that decision. And it felt like the 1800s, man. You see somebody hang a brother in a tree, all of a sudden everybody gets to go home, no consequences. And it felt bad right after the verdict. But right after the verdict, the streets lit up. So we got diverted from one thing to another. And I remember that very, very vividly, dude. I was at my cousin's. I just bought me some new tires for my van. Just left the tire shop at my cousin's house to see what he was up to. And on the way home, they were talking about the ride. I said, I could have saved my money and got these tires for free. Shit. Anyway, I don't participate in shit like that, man. I'm sorry. I call me a square, whatever. I don't go out and do no riding and shit like that because I don't know. I just never was one of them kind of cats, man. I just don't do that.
Yeah. I don't see you running out of Foot Locker with a bag of Nikes. You definitely don't give off that vibe.
You're getting shot over no damn tennis shoes. Trust me. That ain't what I'm gonna do.
It ain't happening. Something that doesn't get talked about a lot, going back to Rodney King, was something that happened just before that the city was very, very upset about. And that is, I hope I'm saying her name right, Latasha Harlins. And for anyone who doesn't remember, 1992, 91, 92, she was the little black girl who went into a Korean-owned store, and she supposedly stole something, got into a fight with the Korean lady, and once Latasha turned around to walk out or leave the store, the lady shot her in the back of the head. And I do believe she only got probation.
She got probation. That liquor store was on my auntie's corner store. I've been to the store a few times as a kid myself. Right there off of Figueroa. And I'm trying to figure out how a bottle of orange juice, and found out she didn't steal it. That was the cold part. She didn't even steal it. It was a hassle. And at that time, back then, that's when they had the store started to change from one group to another, and the new group coming in had a different attitude. They had a real funky attitude for a long time, and that situation right there caused a lot of havoc because ain't nowhere in the world you can shoot nobody in the back of the head and go home. Probation my ass. I don't care how old she was. She's supposed to go to jail. If I ain't mistaken, I think Johnny Cochran was her lawyer. If I ain't mistaken.
Was whose lawyer?
The Asian lady.
What?
The Korean. If I ain't mistaken, take a look at it. Look it up.
Lawyers are lawyers. Lawyers are lawyers.
Look it up. If I ain't mistaken, Johnny was her lawyer, and that's why she got off. Okay, with probation. I could be wrong.
Black lawyer.
She got the best. Okay, and that was one. That was a sad situation. That Isaiah, N.W.A. was Johnny her lawyer. Take a look before
I'm gonna look it up while you're talking. Nope, I got it. While we're talking, I'm gonna look it up.
What's the name? John Kim or something like that? I forgot her name. I don't know. I can't think of it. I know it was I don't know. See who her lawyer was first though. I don't know. I do know Johnny was involved. Okay.
That's crazy. That's the first I'm hearing of that. But I'm looking it up, and my computer's going slow. But as we wait for that to pull up, Los Angeles, the Cochran firm found it. Oh no, it's just Stern, Kim Goldman. All right, I'll look it up later. But going back to police, the city of Compton went from Compton police to Los Angeles sheriffs. Do you know why they did that? Was there a lot of fraud going on? Were they just not doing their job? Was the city too out of control? And did the sheriffs make things better or worse?
You know, I was going through some of my old shows, Issues in the Hood, a public access show I had in Compton. And when that issue came before the city council, I was on television back then in Compton. I was looking at the video, and I had me and my cousin talked about it, but me and Omar had a conversation about it as well. Omar Bradley was the mayor of Compton at the time, and there was a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred between City Hall and the police. There was so much. It was a lot of people were claiming that cops were working with some of the gangbangers. It was just all kind of accusations going back and forth. Nothing ever got proved to my knowledge. There was supposed to have been drugs found in police lockers. I mean, it was just all kind of stuff going back and forth. And it was just super crazy, man. It was just super crazy. And it was really a heavy time for everybody because Compton was real dark then, dude. It was the gangs and drugs was everywhere. And it just, the accusations of corruption was flying around. Nobody went to jail that I know of. I think what sealed the deal was when a gun that was confiscated in Compton ended up shooting a cop in Long Beach. A gun that was confiscated in Compton ended up shooting, or was involved in a shooting. I ain't gonna say a cop, ended up being involved in a shooting in Long Beach. And that gave a ton of evidence that there was some kind of leak in the system, and they felt it was good. They felt it was best to bring the sheriff in. And that even all that right there it wasn't even a vote. I think it was a city council situation to do away with the sheriff. And for years, man, oh my God, it was a big movement to try to bring the Compton PD back and get rid of the sheriff. And I can't say the sheriff has always been much better. The sheriff came in with a lot more resources. That's for damn sure. One of the first captains was Cecil Rambo. He came on my show and introduced himself to the people of Compton, and we became friends after that because he seemed like a very fair dude. Okay, he currently runs the airport in the LAX. He's a sheriff. He moved from Compton, became the Compton city manager. Went on to he went back to the sheriff for a while. Came to Compton for city manager, Carson assistant city manager. Now he's running the airport, and we've been under the sheriff jurisdiction ever since then. And it just even in some administrations, there's been animosity between City Hall and the sheriff department. And now it's a little bit different. I just had a meeting recently with the new sheriff, brother named Terrence Bell, and he seemed to be super cool for, a cop. But for a cop, you learn after a while, man, cops is brothers too. And for the most part, if you talk to them, if you come in there in the wrong way, and I don't care whether it's a cop or security guard, it could be a cop or a security guard. You can find yourself in an adversarial situation. And I'd never presented myself like that. And I was able to talk to the sheriff, got a good vibe from him. Seemed like he's trying to make some things happen, make some changes. And that's all you can ask for, man. He do his job in a fair manner. I'm trying to get him on my show, on the show. He got to get a clearance first. But I've talked to him, and I've met most of the sheriffs that came through Compton. Most of them seem to be pretty cool, but every once in a while, sometimes some people just don't give you a good vibe, okay? I'm very vibe sensitive to people. I can be with you. I can be around you for a minute and pick up a certain kind of vibe, and I could be wrong, but I might not want to mess with you. Just simple as that. I just don't feel comfortable with you. I'm very vibe sensitive, okay?
Yeah, a Gemini intuition.
And it works both ways. You and I vibe from the first minute we talk. From the first minute we met till now, we still vibing today. So, if I feel it, we can work. If I don't feel it, nah, I'm gonna pass on this one right here.
Most def. Hey, Kevin Haynes has a great question. I was a little too young to remember this, but he says, Dusty and Lonzo, do y'all remember LAPD Chief Willie Williams? Did
Yep.
a black chief make a difference in the streets?
No. Willie Williams was the same police captain in Philadelphia when they blew up them folks in Philadelphia. Shit, he was the goddamn police department. When they blew up them brothers and sisters in
Good looking out, Isaiah. Good looking out.
Much love, Isaiah. When they check the history books. Who was the chief of police in Philadelphia when they blew up I forgot the name of the organization. It was a black group. They had a whole, like New Jack City, but there wasn't no drug situation. It was a compound, and they wouldn't let the police in, and they dropped a bomb on their asses. That was the second time America had been bombed by its own people. That was in Philadelphia, and I think it was 84 or something like that.
85, yeah, 1985 MOVE bombing, MOVE bombing.
Right, MOVE.
It was at the Cobbs Creek neighborhood of Philadelphia.
Who was the police chief of police?
I see a Gregory Sam. I'm looking. Keep talking. I'll find it.
I think.
Oh, no, you could be right. Who the police chief was?
Yeah, I think.
What's his name? Willie Williams.
Willie Williams. I think it was Willie Williams. And that's why they brought him to L.A. because L.A. was on fire when he came here.
Damn. Okay. So they saw. Okay.
Yeah, he came with a serious reputation. He wasn't taking no shit. He didn't know nothing, but he didn't. He had a reputation.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. That's the first time I heard of that story. I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole.
You got to be old on some shit like that.
Yeah, Isaiah, and I was about to say this as well, but her lawyer was black, Lonzo, but her lawyer was named Charles Lloyd. Going back to the Soon John Un lady who shot Natasha Harlan.
What law firm was he with?
Oh, that could be now we're all right. Well, keep going. Hey, look that up for me, Isaiah, if you don't mind. I'm gonna do it on my end too, because it could have been part of Cochran's law firm. Right.
Okay. Might have been him, but I think it might have been somebody from his firm. Okay, my bad. I know his name kept popping up in the news briefs. Okay. Yeah, Willie Williams was the chief of police when the cops was crazy. You're damn right. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Dude. Bernard Parks, LAPD. I don't know. My interaction with the LAPD has been very, very minimum. I've been stopped by them, but I've never really dealt with them. Even as close as I am to the 108th Street, I don't really deal with them. They don't never give me a problem. So I've had more run-ins with the sheriff than anything else.
Okay. What about Tom Bradley? He was
He was a mayor. He was a mayor for a while, and then was he chief of police too?
No. I'm just curious if he, his story. If you did anything happen during his tenure?
I mean, I was a kid doing the Tom Bradley thing. I remember my mama saw him at the airport, and she was all, "Oh my God, Mayor Bradley!" Daddy, like, shut the fuck up. My mom was a groupie. Mom was a groupie to the mayor. I don't, man. I was a little bit before my time, Doc.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Tucker was the chief when they bombed the move. Okay, my bad. But
hey, we got the fact checkers in the building. They'll definitely get us on the facts.
Homeboy was somewhere around he was somewhere in the vicinity when it happened. Okay. Willie Williams was either the assistant chief or something like that. He was definitely in the command when that jumped off. He may not have been the one that made the command, but he was definitely in the hierarchy that was a part of that situation. Okay. Did you see if homeboy came from Johnny Cochran's?
No. I was still trying to figure out the Willie Williams thing in Philly to see, but yeah, there's sports, others not.
Now Daryl Gates.
There we go. All right. Daryl Gates, what?
Now Daryl Gates, he was a son of a bitch.
Yeah, so Williams was the first African-American commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department and the first African-American chief of the LAPD. So yes, right before LAPD, he was definitely in Philadelphia. So if he was the commissioner of the police force there, he definitely had something to do with that bombing, right? Right.
He definitely was involved. He may not have made a command, but he definitely knew what was going on.
Oh yeah. He has a whole thing on the Philly situation. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole for sure.
My man, Kevin Hayes says, yes, sir, Lonzo, he was next in line in Philly. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. I knew he was involved. He might not have pushed the button, but he damn sure knew what time it was gonna go down.
Yeah. But before we move on, Lonzo, I got a few clips I want to play for you throughout the night. But before we move on, I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button. If you haven't already, just take a quick second just to hit that like. That really, really helps us out. And if this is your first time checking us out, please hit that subscribe button. But I got to give props, Lonzo, to this organization. We're going to talk about some grown-ass men enlightenment stuff right now. But I got to give props to this organization out of Detroit. Brothers of New Era Detroit. They actually go around pumping gas, loading groceries, and looking after black women moving around Detroit after dark.
More power to
We need
them.
more men like this.
More power to them.
Love shit like that, man. We need organizations like that in different cities, man.
Man, it's gonna take, let me say this right here. I'm doing some stuff through the chamber. For those who don't know, I said it 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it 1,001. I'm the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and the mayor has me on a program, Bloomberg Harvard Institute, and we have been for the past 3 weeks breaking down problems over the cities, in various cities. It's 10 cities. It's 10 cities, 8 people. Okay, and these cities all over the world, not just America. We got one in Stockholm, Germany, one in England, and in doing these classes and these Zoom calls, it's become apparent that a lot of places around the world got the same problem: homelessness, gangs. That shit is
Inflation, all that shit. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, I think we're the only all black crew. Only all black team, but white folks got the same issues with the kids is acting a fool, trash and homelessness and inflation. Everybody got the same problems. But we came to the conclusion that a lot of these problems cannot and will not be solved just by the politicians and the police. If people don't start stepping up, and like these brothers here, and where they from now?
Detroit.
Brothers from Detroit. If you see a problem, you got to step up. And as you step up and start making things happen, other brothers will join you. It's like anything else. I've been saying this forever. You got to be like Nike. Just do it. If you see a problem, address it, man. You can't go out there with no guns and no knives. How about you gonna walk sisters to the car that somebody roll up on you, gonna blow them away? You're going to jail. But it's just the presence of men around an area that could be a potential target, put people in a targeted situation, makes a big difference, especially out of these youngsters. A lot of them ain't gonna run up on you. A lot of them, nah, they ain't gonna run up on you. Now you got some fools that I got to have that, but for the most part, the average one don't want to fight. That's why they pick on women in the first place, because they punks. That's why they pick on women and youngsters, because they punks. They see a grown man out there, they're not gonna do nothing. They go, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, and that's just something that I've observed over the years, and I see these kind of programs. It reminds me of program they have we talked about this before in Louisiana, where the dads would go to school and they had fights every day in school, but all of a sudden pops show up and the whole attitude of the school changed. Okay, and that's another reason why I say it's important that black men stay in the community, because when the men are there, the fools they got somebody to deal with. When you got a bunch of young, crazy wolves in the pack, and all you got is cubs and female wolves, the young wolves think they can run shit. And that's what we've been dealing with for the last longest. A lot of men in the families have been gone. They out of the household. They doing things. They in jail. They other places. And you got all these youngsters, there's no guidance, nobody kicking them in the ass. And sometimes a good kick in the ass is a great form of guidance. I'm a firm believer of shoe to ass ratio. The shoe to ass ratio should always be implemented when necessary. I'm old school like that. But when that's not happening, folks think because you're 13 or 14, you grown, your mama's smaller, you taller than your mama, and she really don't want to jump on you. She don't want to hurt you, but it is what it is. And you let you do what you want to do. You come in, she tell you to do something, you don't do it. And I even my family, I remember my uncle, he left, and my dad was acting as a substitute dad for his kids. He had 4 or 5 boys, And in any given day, he never had to kick no ass because mama kicked enough ass by herself, okay? Mama wasn't no joke. But every once in a while, Pops had to go over there and do some reinforcing. And between him and the neighbor, kept everybody out of the penitentiary. Meanwhile, I'm watching the whole thing like, I don't want to get in that kind of so it has all kind of effects. And you see men team up on some youngsters. Look, boy, you're not going to disrespect your mom in no way, form, or fashion. I don't care what you think, how big you think you are. Don't make me come over here because I'm gonna come over here heavy. What you gonna do? All right, Mr. So-and-so. All right, Uncle So-and-so. And they know they will come. So that's the kind of thing you have to have in place to keep things in order. And I'm proud of these brothers in Detroit for stepping up to keeping the community safe, especially ladies.
Yeah. And you know what I love? Someone in the comments said, Cavett said, yeah, I saw a video of N.W.A. That's the name of their group in Detroit. He says, I saw a video of N.W.A. stepping up aggressive to tow truck drivers running scams with property management on single mothers in Detroit. I love shit like that, man.
Yeah, man. That's some buster ass shit right there. You go, somebody parked their car, you got a little security guard and a tow truck driver piece up, and the tow truck driver, the security guard might get $35, $40. Tow truck driver towed the car on some bullshit. Now your car's in the impound, and as soon as they hook it up, it's $100. I don't give a damn. It's $100 to make the yard. It might be 2 or 3. Your shit's already tight, and now they get to sell your car for sale for 30 days. So yes, skip that bullshit, okay? They tried to, man, they snatched my Cadillac one night, man. My good car, they snatched my car. I was in the Empire, I was gone. I came back 15 minutes later, my truck was gone.
Damn.
It happened to me twice. It happened to me a few years ago, but it happened to me last year. I was at a hotel taking care of some business, came back out, my shit was gone. $300 to get the next day. I got it. $300 before noon. $300. It's a hustle, man. And see, in the city allows them to do that. They make money on it because you can't, tow trucks. There's somebody on the lot that actually makes the phone call to the tow truck. We got 2 cars in the lot, so he's gonna get paid. He's a spotter. Okay, you can't. The owner of a building, most time at the time to go home, they don't have time for that. But they got a little nickel-ass security guard out there. And no disrespect to security guards, but some of them be on the scandalous tip. And they call them up, to get their little change. And that's why the fees be so high. Everybody getting paid, including the city. They support the efforts of the crookedness. If you go downtown LA, now that's the difference. But you go downtown LA at 4 o'clock, tow trucks be lined up. They line up. If it's time at 4:01, they hauling cars. They round the corner waiting. Okay, be 4 or 5. I've seen them do it. 4 or 5 tow trucks at 4 o'clock. They say, "Move your cars." Okay, it's time to go. I don't like it, but I understand it. $100 a day in your. What you crazy? You said $100 a day if you get impounded.
That sounds a little cheap, right?
No, it's I don't know if it's, you know what.
Oh, you mean a day if it gets set? If it has to sit on the lot, meaning?
If it's $100 a day. I had a car stolen one time. Somebody stole one of my trucks in front of my house, 4 o'clock in the morning. I just missed the guy stealing it. I heard him outside fumbling. By the time I got up out of my daze, because I was half asleep, my truck was gone. There was a white van sitting in the middle of the street right next to where my truck would normally sit at. I called the police. Police show up. While I'm doing the police report, the cops radio talks about a black Chevy truck involved in a robbery. These guys stole somebody's GPS device. That's before they had all the GPSs in the car. Make a long story short, that was on a Saturday night. They found my truck Sunday. I picked it up Monday. By the time they got through, I was out $1,000. It was just enough damage not to qualify for the deductible to pay for the damage, and the tow truck and the other shit. It was like 300 and some, almost $400. It was like $850. Okay, $850. And I got my truck. They found it on Saturday night. I picked it up Monday, $850.
Damn,
So,
you just got to take it. You just got to take it like a champ.
Nigga, for $50, you could have rented the damn truck. Shit, I'd have gave you the keys. But yeah, man, they got
scam, dog.
You got cold scams everywhere. And when the city's involved in the scam, and when the city's getting paid on the scam, it's hard to beat it. You can go to court. They had another scam I was involved in, this burglar alarm, false alarm scam. I've always had alarms on my house. I had, always had studios and stuff. So I always had alarms. And one night, they tell you if you call the alarm go off, if you call in first, they won't come out. But I called in and they still showed up. Now the cop showed up, he just rolled past my house. He looked at my house. I saw him, made a little note. I get a ticket in the mail a couple of days later. So I go before before I had cell phones, whatever. I couldn't record it. I go before the police commission and tell them, hey man, first of all, I called off because it was my fault. I was in the house. And number two, if somebody was breaking into my house, he couldn't have done shit no way because he never really stopped. He just rolled past like a California roll, looked at my house, made a little note, and kept on going. Okay, I got a pretty nice sized house. If you don't get out and look, you don't know where somebody could have broke in at. But it still charged my ass $200 for the roll through. Oh hell no. Nope.
BS, man. That's some BS. Yeah. Let's keep it going with the grown ass men and light men. I like that. I want to kind of do more, focus on that in 2023 because I think that's so important that these kids need a grown man like yourself and myself. I can piggyback off that as well to give them some game. But I came across this clip that I want to play for you, Lonzo, and I would love your thoughts. It's Chad Ochocinco, the football player, on how he saves 83% of his salary by flying Spirit Airlines and wearing fake jewelry. I'm going to play it right here. Hold on.
Make enough money I can fly private? Yeah.
I ain't flying private. Spirit. Put me on Spirit. Exit row. Window seat. That's all I need. As long as I get from point A to point B. I don't need private. Athletes more so. If you can get to a point in your career where your name becomes bigger than anything you can purchase, there's your value. Wow. My name itself, Ochocinco at one point, even still to this day, is bigger than, why am I driving a Ferrari? Why am I driving a Rolls Royce and I'm Ocho? Oh, we talk about jewelry and watches and chains. Never bought real anything when I was playing. Never. What was the point? I went to Claire's.
For all
yes. For what? What am I doing it for? The women don't deal with you anyway because of who you are.
Right.
And then the other women who really doing their homework don't do how much you're making already.
Right.
Why am I buying a $50,000 watch?
Talk to me, Lonzo.
Man, that's my man right there, dude. That's my man. See, if you got it, you ain't got to fake it. You ain't got to flaunt it. It's coming anyway. If you got it, you ain't got to flaunt it. See see a lot of what we see on both sides of the fence, men and women. It ain't for the other sex. It's for the other. It's for the same sex looking at you. Okay, exactly. Women dress for women, men dress for men. We in competition with each other. Okay, if you walk in the room and you ain't nobody, or you want people to think you somebody, you got to come in with all this extra shit on because your ego or your what I'm looking for, you're insecure. It's a sign of insecurity. Okay, you got to be the super bad. You got to be all this right here. Now, a few things can happen. You walk into the club, you get all the high profile attention because you got all these chains and rings on, and two people are gonna look at you: the females and the jackers, Okay, and just because the females looking at you don't mean you ain't being looked at as a setup. Because everybody needs a little change from time to time. So they know the right guys to call to help get that chain around your neck, get the rings off your finger, get that watch off your arm. So therefore, you don't know who to trust. So you out here like a fisherman trying to, you got your line thrown into the ocean of attention and hoping to catch a bonita or something, end up catching a damn shark. Could be a male shark or a female shark. And if you got it, you ain't got to do it like that, man. And so many people, the internet has created a lot of fake personas, a lot of broke people, A lot of broke people act like they got it going on because they go to the private lounge, take a picture, like they don't know they go stand in, take the picture in private lounge and go sit his ass over in Air Spirits. Okay, I catch the train. I'm a train man myself. I catch a train in a minute. I ain't no hurry. Okay, I enjoy the train because I get to kick back. I get to watch a movie. I ain't no hurry. I got to go to New York in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna be on the plane for that. But if I got to go to California, anywhere in California, I got to go to San Diego or Santa Barbara or Oakland or even Fresno. I'm gonna hop on the train. And I ain't why? Because first of all, it ain't that crowded, and you meet some cool people on the train. Southwest, like you said, like my man Kevin says, Southwest is my airlines. Okay, I got Southwest and American Airlines credit cards. I get up and go, I get ready to. And Spirit, if you got clothes already in the city, you just need a ride. Okay, Spirit is cool. Spirit like Air Uber. Okay, you can't bring no extra shit on, no water. You can't bring no bag, nothing. Nigga, you can't wear it. You got to pay for it. So if you can just buy a ticket and walk on the plane, and you got, if you like, I met a lady one time. She lived in Vegas, okay, but she played in LA, and I got booked on Spirit, and she flew Spirit every Friday and Sunday, and she had a place in LA and one in Vegas. So all she got to do, she just needed a ride to LA. She didn't want to drive, so she just that was a way to get. And she loved Spirit for that. Cheap flight, $19-20 back at that time. But anybody else got kind of luggage.
I just bought one Spirit for $40.
If you ever plan on changing your drawers, you can't fly Spirit. You the kind of person to change your drawers every day. You can't fly Spirit. Okay. Yes. Uber Air. Okay. Air of the Uber. That's it. It's only good for transportation, nothing else. But yeah, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. I think that's a smart. I mean, he understands his value. His value ain't, he got to drive his value. He ain't got to wear his value. I wish more brothers, especially young brothers. I see a lot of young brothers with good jobs, and they think they got to play that role to be in the streets. A lot of young brothers I got to get Gucci this and this right here. I got to get all these Jordans. Man, come on, dude. I mean, everybody. This is the first time in life I've ever seen people buy shoes that didn't need that the shoes wasn't wore out. And I'm guilty. I just don't buy tennis shoes. Okay, I don't buy tennis shoes. I still wear leather sole shoes. I got quite a few of them because my feet haven't grown over the years. But most of them, probably the most I've ever paid for a pair of shoes might be $100, $150 because I like cowboy boots. Okay, I got a spot where when I was wearing cowboy boots, I still got every pair of them, but I'm not gonna spend $400 or $500 on a pair of tennis shoes. I never see the value in that. I won't see the value in that. Some brothers maybe watching this show, some brothers, that they got a subscription.
Unless I'm flipping them for a higher profit, I ain't buying no $400 shoes. Unless I'm flipping those bitches for $700.
When you got a subscription to Nike, they just send you shoes like it's a magazine. Either you balling or you stupid. I ain't figured it out yet. And it's a thin line between being balling and stupid. It's a thin line. Okay. People think, I was watching Homeboy that played Meech on BMF. Spent $500,000 on a chain. Nigga. My house worth over $500,000, but I cannot see myself. If I had $500,000, I'd pay this some bitch off, or damn near pay it off. Okay, $500,000 for a chain. But see, that's again, he ain't doing that. He did that for two reasons. One, he felt he needed to have that for the show because the show was a hot show, and somebody else then spent $450 on the chain. So mine $500,000. Okay, and that's just how it is. My man Chris Stack said, "Here, Puma man, I'm a leather shoe man. When I buy tennis, I usually buy them from Skechers. Yeah, your homie's a Sketcher dude. Okay, I'm
rocking Pumas right now, Chris.
Okay, You might get 60 out of me on a pair of tennis shoes. You might get 60 or 70. Okay.
Yeah, I go to Ross. I get my tennis shoes at Ross all
Man,
day.
I came out of Ross with a nice little wardrobe. I ain't spent $50. Shit, my daughter turned me on to Ross. She worked there. She worked at Ross, man, and I went to go pick her up for something. They having a family and friends sale. I went to the family and friends sales. I was had an attitude. I was in there with attitude, and I got to walking around Ross. Shit, I must spend about $300 on that day on Ross, man. Shit, bought my son and my daughter some shit.
Love me some Ross, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls, baby. All three of those get my love. Real talk.
Yes, sir.
But here's another clip I want to play for you, Lonzo. Before I play this clip, this is one I come across. I just listen to podcasts and YouTube channels all day, and a lot of it is N.W.A. based, Eazy-E and all that. But does the name Yomo ring a bell to you? Yeah. Yomo from Yomo and Marquise? Okay, Yomo and Marquise, is that the name of the group?
I know Yomo. I don't know Marquise.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, he was on a podcast or a YouTube thing where your name came up. So I want to play this, and I want to see if you have any remembrance on how the Ruthless Records name came to be. So here we go.
You know, they told me it was going to be called Rock House Records, because that was the term for, you know, a dope house or a crack house. We used to call it rock houses. And we sitting in a studio. Now, this is at Lonzo's world-class studio. Lonzo was the leader of the record crew. You know, him, Dre, DJ Unknown, Clientele, and Yella. We sitting in Lonzo's world-class studios at his house, and I don't know. I really wasn't feeling the whole Rock House Records. So I'm looking through the papers. That's 1986, and at the time, the movie Ruthless People was out with Danny DeVito. And I said, you know what? Man, why don't we just call it Ruthless Records? Rest is history.
I know a lot of stuff was going on in your studio, and in hindsight, it's probably hard to remember a lot of stuff, but do you remember the creation of the Ruthless Records name?
Not totally, but I've heard that story before. Yomo was around. Yes, he definitely was around. No doubt about that. At once upon a time, they was bouncing all kind of names out. And Rock House, because Rock the House, Rock House was kind of one of the names. I do remember them throwing around. The exact procedure that led to Ruthless Records, not sure, but it makes sense because that was right around the time with Ruthless People. Very possible, very possible. I would not refute that story whatsoever. Okay, I can't totally support it, but I wouldn't refute it. It sounds very doable. Yomo wasn't around at that time, and because Eazy, he had all kind of names. He was trying to come up with all kind of names for himself. He was going to be called Ewok after the guys from Star Wars. That was going to be short, Ewok. Nah, Negro, that ain't going to work. Okay.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah. I mean, what he's saying, because everybody came to my house and it was always the spot where all the thinking was done. Because everything was being bounced off of me. Okay. Everybody was sitting around and no alcohol, no smoking, maybe a bunch of sodas and a box of chicken or some shit for the most part. And they would just bounce ideas. Okay. And if something hit, it would people, okay, I like that. That's fresh. That's fresh. That was the word back then. Fresh. That's fresh. And if it was fresh enough, shit, it would fly. And as simple as that.
Okay. Yomo is a name that doesn't get mentioned a lot. Can you give us a background to the best of your knowledge on Yomo and what you know about Yomo and Malky?
Yomo called me not long ago. And
let's try to get him on the show.
Hold on. We called him right now. If he answers his phone.
Shit. That's why I love this show, man. We're gonna give Yomo a call. Used to hang out at Lonzo's studio back in the day in the N.W.A. Eazy-E, pre-N.W.A. Eazy-E days, before Eazy even had a name. Eazy was trying to call himself Ewok. That's so crazy. I'm still tripping on that. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy what you are hearing tonight. We're giving Yomo a call right now.
Let's see if he will answer the phone.
This is Yomo. Leave a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yomo, Lonzo, what's up with you, Doc? look here. I'm sitting here on my television show right now, Issues in the Hood with N.W.A. story with Lonzo. I got my boy Dusty. He brought up a clip that you played, that you did. You mentioned the evolution of how the name Ruthless came about. He played me the clip, and I just wanted to get you on the phone right quick, but you didn't answer the phone, man. So we're going to call you back, maybe get you on the show, talk about this in more detail. You know you owe me an interview anyway. Holler back if you get a chance to. I'm on the show. I'm on the air till 7 o'clock. If you get this message before then, tap back in. The number going to show up. Peace.
Khaled says, well, I'm E. Walker got bitches galore. You may have a lot of bitches, but I got, that don't have the same ring to it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, man. Okay, so Yomo, what was his role back then that you remember?
He was a young rapper, man. He worked with Easy them for a while, and I ain't gonna lie, okay? I remember him, but so many cats came through here, I can't remember all of them situations. I know he was supposed to be on Ruthless for a while, and something happened that didn't work out, okay? Or he might have been on Ruthless, and it might have been one of the earlier Ruthless.
Let me break down their wiki. They have a wiki page, and maybe it'll drum up some. It says Yomo and Malky were an American hip hop group from Los Angeles, California, composed of Yomo and Malky. They were signed with Ruthless Records, the label owned by Eazy-E. Their discography consists of one studio album, which spawned 3 singles. The duo first worked with Eazy-E in 1989 when they provided additional vocals to the DOC's debut album, No One Can Do It Better, okay? They were associated with the members of N.W.A., although the duo was not a gangster group. Instead, its lyrics viewed more towards Public Enemy's political style. Oh, now I got to check this album out, actually. In 1991, Eazy worked with them again as executive producer on their only full-length album, Are You Experienced, which was distributed through Atlantic. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, yeah. That's
part of Atlantic. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And JJ Fad. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna look up that album just to hear the fact that they have some Public Enemy vibes.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably why it didn't. That's probably what happened. It was on the Public Enemy tip, and then everybody started buying gangsters.
Unfortunately, a couple weeks too late, right? Yeah.
We
talked about that transition. We talked about that transition from 89, 90.
That transition killed a lot of careers, man. It killed shit. It killed all the New Jack sound. And I love New Jack, man.
Jack, my favorite time.
New Jack was my favorite groove, man. And all of a sudden, what happened? New Jack, what? No more guy, no more Cool Mo D. I mean, for everything, just shoot, gone.
That sucked, man. Because Kid and Play, all of that was just so fun. And then, everybody's gangsters.
It got killed just like disco did, man. They killed New Jack just like they killed disco. Okay, disco. I remember when disco was the shit, and I say disco died because it was kind of disheartening to have your girl, your white girl especially, at a club and she getting snatched around by brothers and shit because white boys was not John Travolta in the club. Okay, that shit was not the same way. You know, you came out there doing that old, and all of a sudden disco sucks, and the disco died. Okay, and all of a sudden it stopped being cool to have fun. Now when the fuck did that happen? It just stopped being cool to have fun, and I watched it happen so fast in the club. Because I was on tour for a minute, came back to the Eve. We had about a 3 or 4 month gap on some shit, and I opened the club back up for a minute. And I go over to the club wearing my normal clothes, man. And I came back and I had to take my suits off, man. I had to start wearing jeans and sweatsuits and tennis shoes to the club because it went from even when my daughter and them was at the club. My daughter, her husband now. They was working with me for a while, and it was super cool back then. We had fun. We had pajama parties, all kind of shit, man. When they left, I came back again. Dude, it was all about fucking killing each other. We spent me and the security guards spent most of our time keeping people from fighting. What the party wasn't even really the party. It was just a walking ring for people to fight at. And it just got to the point. I told the old man, so I'm out of this shit. I left that teen shit alone because it was too damn stressful, man. It was too stressful, and they just like they killed off disco, and which was another fun era. Okay, disco was a very fun era. They killed off New Jack, and then the haircuts and brothers wearing real clothes and shoes and dancing. Look at New Jack's. No, I'm sorry. Look at New Jack City. New Jack City is probably the best example you'll see film-wise of an era, because New Jack City was right there in the middle. In New Jack City, to see the first scene, they playing basketball in in dress shoes and slacks. We did that shit. It wouldn't be shit for see us outside playing basketball. We probably had on t-shirts, but we'd take off our shirts and play basketball. Take off our shirts and play football in the streets in dress shoes and jeans or biscuits. We did that shit. But look at New Jack City. I use this comparison. I use this comparison all the time. Look at House Party 1. House Party 1. Everybody was having a good time. You had 3 fools the whole time that was causing the problem. By the time you got to Boys in the Hood, you only had 3 niggas that wasn't gangbanging. Look at the movie.
That's right. Yep.
Look at
Damn, you broke it down. Exactly.
Look at the movies. Okay. Look at the movie. And if I'm mistaken, House Party came out first. Then Boys in the Hood.
100% correct.
Huh?
You are definitely correct. You are correct in that for sure. That sequence, House Party first, then Boys in the Hood.
And most of the people in the House Party, I knew. Okay. In fact, a lot of people left my house going for the auditions. Rose, D. Barnes. I just saw Anthony King. AJ. It was this good AJ Johnson with this good Jerry Curl ass, and met Robin Harris. All of them, I knew them personally. But next thing you know, you see Boys in the Hood, then Menace to Society. Okay, and it was in Menace to Society.
South Central. I mean, they all came out back to back. American Me, like there was a lot of gang movies in 92, 93.
There was very few non-gangster dudes in any of those movies. Everybody was trying to kill everybody, and that right there set the tone for the streets. And art imitates life, and life imitates art, and that's what you saw firsthand, baby. Some of y'all was so busy watching the movies, you didn't see what was happening. It took me a minute to realize what was happening. I was right in the middle of this shit.
And to wrap it up, Lonzo, but another point also that I noticed is we've kind of talked about this before, but there's no more LeVar Burtons. There's no more Bill Cosby's, back in there's no more. It's all, every time you see us, unfortunately, on TV or on camera, a lot of the time we're portraying an image that a very small percentage of us actually act like.
Man, I watched some of those Tyler Perry movies or movies on the BET, and everybody is a gangster. Even the pastors is gangsters. The family, everybody got some reason to die or kill for. They got all these brothers mad, smoking cigars and clean and shit. All the women got the super weaves in their hair and shit. And Negro, where y'all get that from? But again, BET ain't owned by nobody with no B in them, so therefore they do what they want to. And when somebody said that was going to happen. I forgot who it was. They said that was going to happen when Bob Johnson sold BET to Viacom. He said, "Watch, all the imagery is going to change to a negative vibe because you ain't see no Donnie Simpsons on there. You ain't no music video shows no more. You don't see none of that shit. All you see is I was complaining today. Housewives, basketball wives. You stay out of my business. If you see my business, you just stay out of it. Nobody does that shit."
Even Lonzo, oh my God, dog. I hate when I'm listening to radio commercials and there'll be couples talking or they'll be interviewing people and you could clearly tell the black actress. It's like they almost tell her to over accentuate the ghetto-ness and the ratchetness and yeah. It's like, that bothers me. I point it out to my wife all the time when I hear it, dude.
I tell you what though, man, this shit spills into the streets because when you run a male exotic club, you see women imitating that same thing in real life. Okay, you see the same attitude. Girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. Talk to the hand. Yeah. Ugh! Ghetto ass shit, man. But that they set the tone for what they think we're supposed to look like, how we're supposed to act in public. And so we bite into that shit, man. Here's the bad part about that: we know better, but we still buy into it anyway. We know better.
Damn.
We know about the prison industry. We know the pipeline, the prison. We know all about that. But we still play the game. We know all about the negative imagery. We still buy into that shit. We still buy it. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Man, we almost out of time, Dusty.
Yeah, I know we only got a couple more minutes. Marlon had a quick question. He says, did you know Full Force?
Nope, didn't know Full Force.
Okay.
When Russell pissed me off and that Run DMC played for Uncle Jam's Army, he tried to give me Full Force as a token of appreciation. But I never played a Full Force song in my life. I played Lisa. Never played a Full Force song in my life. They didn't do well in LA. They're great producers, great songwriters, but as an act, they didn't that buff thing, the ugly buff dude thing didn't work for us.
LA was not feeling that shit. I can name one Full Force song, but I do know they produced for the likes of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and a lot of people.
Yeah. As a group, they didn't know you can't just flex and have a Jericho with big lips, and that ain't working.
I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
That was cool. Okay, they did 2 movies like that. Even they did the second one in college. That was cool. Okay. But they were still only the only 3 antagonists, and they were the police it were security guards in the movie.
That's right.
They were security guards. Okay, so that tells you
Mom got him a job. That's right.
Mom got him a job. Okay, but again, when you look at now, you see college movies, everybody's selling dope. Lil Tariq on Power, he's selling dope on. He the dope man. Okay. So you giving people ideas on how to ruin their college career, okay, through television, okay? That dude. But again, I was telling somebody earlier, I have these conversations all the time, almost every day. If we don't say nothing, they ain't gonna say nothing because they figure silence is approval. NWA ain't gonna say nothing because Viacom probably donate money for trophies and shit. You got too much sponsorship, man. You got a lot of sponsorship. A lot of things ain't gonna get said because of money. I ain't got no sponsors.
We count down to nobody. We tell it like it is, man.
I ain't got no sponsors, so I can tell it like it is.
Yeah,
all right, we good.
Always a pleasure, Lonzo. Every Tuesday, make sure you guys tune in on Fridays to Legendary Connects with Lonzo and Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from the East Coast. Always a pleasure, man.
Much love, guys. Also, man, if y'all didn't know it, my movie, Compton Love, Eve After Dark, made it to the Pan-African Film Festival. We'll be airing, Dusty, on Friday, September 17th at the, I forgot the thing, the old Magic Johnson Theater. If you can make it, come on through, man. Y'all in California. Friday, 8:00 show. We got a prime slot. Friday, 8:00, Pan African Film Festival, Compton Love. The eve after from Compton to the Super Bowl will be premiering at the Pan African Film Festival. I'm gonna get back just in time from New York to be at my premiere at the premiere. So, folks, anybody that can make it, please come on out. Dusty, let me know. I got you covered, Doc.
Oh, it's a done deal, baby. We're gonna make this an event. I can't wait, dude.
So we got 2 movies. I might be I'm gonna be in New York 1 week for
September. You said September, but
no,
you mean February?
February 17th.
Oh, thank you. I'm like 9 months away. That's an early plan. Oh,
February
15th.
February 17th.
17th.
Friday.
Okay,
Friday.
Yes. Okay, I'm good.
Friday.
Okay, cool.
Friday.
Perfect.
So anybody in LA that's on the chat room, please come through. Support the movie. I'm gonna pack the theater out. I'll be doing a Q&A after the event. Tell me what y'all think. And
I'll get with you offline. We're gonna make this official, man. I can't wait.
All right, folks. Much love to everybody. Thank y'all for watching. Dusty, I'll see you next week, God willing. In the meantime, folks, thank y'all for watching this another episode of N.W.A. Now without Lonzo. Stories with, hey, baby, that's how we do it. Chat room, much love to you. See y'all next week. Peace.